Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Edward III and we get to hear from King Edward III again today in Act 2, Scene 1. This is a very long scene about trying to write a poem to the Countess of Salisbury, who was very briefly taken hostage by the Scottish army until they saw the English army coming, at which point they just ran away. So she welcomed the king and was like, do you want some snacks? And there was some rhymed flirting that happened. And now the king has enlisted Lodovick to help him try to write poetry that will win her over, because he thinks that Lodovick is this incredible poet. But as we've been hearing the king talk throughout the scene, he's actually fairly poetic himself. And when he heard that Lodovick started out this letter, this poem, this whatever, to the Countess with how fair and chaste she is, like the moon. He first went off about how the moon, like that was a terrible comparison to make, because everybody makes that comparison, and also like the moon only shines at night, so what happens during the day? And then Lodovick is like, what's the other thing that's wrong with that first sentence that I wrote? And the king was like, read it to me again. And he's like, oh, thou fair and chaste as in, virtuous, virginal, that sort of thing. And King Edward replies, I did not bid thee talk of chastity, to ransack so the treason of her mind, for I had rather have her chaste than chaste. Out with the moonlight, I will none of it, and let me have her likened to the sun. Say she hath thrice more splendor than the sun, that her perfections emulates the sun, that she breeds sweets as plenteous as the sun, that she doth thaw cold winter like the sun, that she doth cheer fresh summer like the sun, that she doth dazzle gazers like the sun, and in this application to the sun, bid her be free and general as the sun, who smiles upon the basest weed that grows as lovingly as on the fragrant rose. Let's see what follows that same moonlight line. So he's now instructing Lodovick how to write, and bringing up the fact that comparing her to the sun is much better than comparing her to the moon, because there's so many other ways that you can then take that compliment and make it grow, because the sun makes things grow, and the sun warms things up, and the sun makes people happy, and the sun, it's sparkling, and everybody is amazed to see it. So there's all these wonderful things that you can do with a comparison to the sun that you can't do with a comparison to the moon. And he does a fun little bit of wordplay at the beginning, where with the chaste versus chaste, C-H-A-S-E-D versus C-H-A-S-T-E. He wants to chase her because, the thrill is in the chase. He doesn't want her to be so chaste that he can't win her, is what it boils down to. But he ends it with tell her that she should be as free and open with her love as the sun is, because the sun shines on everything equally, hoping that this means that she will look upon the king as favorably as she would look upon anyone else. And then he's like, all right, tell me what you have written after that moonlit line. And Lodovick's next line has something to do with a comparison to the biblical Judith, not Judas, Judith. And King Edward was like, that's also a terrible comparison, because what, next am I supposed to pull out a sword? Like, where are you even going with this? What else do you have? Tell me what's even after that. And Lodovick is like, that's as far as I've gotten so far. And the king is going to have some words about that in tomorrow's monologue. So I'll see you then. Mwah.